Hello everyone, welcome back to Fanblade. I've got a lot to get through today, so I'm not going to take up a lot of time talking at the start. I'm just going to get cracking into it. What we're going to do is take the clamps off this, mark out the body shape and cut this to shape. Then I can sand it perfectly flat before book matching. Now, not going to do the book matching today, because this is the slab of Rimu that I need to make a precise cut down here, dead centre with the bandsaw. Now the last time I tried book matching a piece of this, I snapped my bandsaw blade. So if that happens this time, we're a little bit stuffed for making the necks. So I'm going to make the necks first. This is the one that's the most furthest along. This is the next one, and this is the one after that. And of course a fingerboard. Now, I was going to make the short scale base neck out of a piece of this timber here, and I thought about it, and then I thought the other way, and then I just can't make up my mind. But then I found another piece of it, and have a look at the grain on this. It's too perfect not to use it. It's already pre-quarter sawn, it's pre-cut. All I need to do is take a slice off here, and that's going to be my neck blank, so I don't have to glue anything up. I may have to, where the join is not quite centered, but there's still enough material that I can take a bit off that side, and it'll just be what it is. Okay, that's not gone quite according to plan. This piece of wood wound up being two slightly different types of wood. Or maybe they are the same variety, but this side's got sapwood running halfway up it, and knots and things like that. We can't really have that in a neck. So I thought, well, what happens if I take another slice and I can use the two good pieces? Well, I tried that, and the good piece has a hole in it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Recycled pianos are nothing but heartache. Don't waste your time. Now we're going to have to find a better solution. Now that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was a piece of ash that's perfectly quarter sawn, but it was nowhere near wide enough to make a neck. So I split it and found a piece of walnut to just fit in the centre there, and that's a neck blank, or it's going to be once I've glued it. So let's do that. Let's clear all this out of the way. Grab some more clamps and stick it together. Short scale guitar time. While that's drying, I will prepare this neck blank. It needs a truss rod, it also needs a fingerboard, and I need to decide what the actual scale length is going to be. How long am I going to have it? A friend of mine very rightly pointed out that this design is in danger of neck dive. So we'll do that. You won't be able to play up here, but you probably won't be able to play most of it anyway. Let's work out exactly how long it's going to be. Then I'm going to mark out the positions on the fretboard, and then I'm going to try something a little bit different, because this is an experimental guitar anyway. Let's have some fun with it. I have decided on a 610mm scale length. That's going to give us ample room for the nut, ample room for the bridge, and an ample neck pocket. Interestingly, that's actually not as short as I thought I was going to have to go. Your average Gibson scale length is about 630, or at least it was. I measured my 339, and that was 630. So 610, not all that short as short scale instruments go, but that's a good thing, I suppose. I'll chuck a set of 11s on this and it'll be absolutely fine. So now, I'm going to square up the ends of this fingerboard, work out which end I'm going to use, then cut it to length, and then I'm going to introduce you to a piece of machinery that not many of you will have seen before. I happen to have a Taylor Hobson pantograph. Now, some of you are probably saying, "Oh my gosh, I haven't seen one of these in years." And the rest of you are probably saying, "Oh my gosh, what the hell is that thing?" What it is an engraving machine. The idea being that you put your pattern up here and you move the stylus around, and of course it moves the cutter. It's got a reduction ratio of 40%, so it's 5 to 2. It'll it comes out smaller at this end. It's adjustable for doing all kinds of different things. That doesn't adjust the angle, that simply moves the cutter forward so that you can do one engraving there, slide it forward, and do exactly the same engraving in a different spot on your workpiece. I've got some special cutters for it, and they will happily chew through wood. It'll do wood, it'll do acrylic, it'll do aluminium, not a problem. I have tested it out on some brass and it sort of started to struggle a little bit there, and tried it out on some stainless steel and it just skated right across the top. It just wouldn't. I've used this machine quite a lot and I know how badly wrong it can go very quickly. So I don't want to waste a whole neck. We're just going to try a few cuts on this wood, then I will cut it to length, or organise the design, and then inlay some crazy thing into here. And now you know what's at the other end of my workbench is a giant pile of mechanical fun. Which kind of sums up everything in here, actually. Anyway, I've cut the fingerboard to length, and I have marked out where the 12th fret is, if that's the nut, and I made sure that's square, and that's all these measurements should be all pretty much right. That's going to be the 12th fret, so I need to measure from there and figure out how I want to design something, and what size I need to draw it to make it work on the machine. So there will be maths, and there will be art. I'm okay with that. Okay, so the pattern is centered and aligned. The height is set for 2mm depth of engraving. The workpiece is aligned and centered. I I'll be honest, I'm a little bit nervous. I've put a fresh rubber band on the drive wheel, and I've even hooked up another one so that the lever that controls the depth doesn't slip, because that can happen. This is the first time I've used this on a guitar, and to mark the occasion, I've set up a second camera. Well, that didn't turn out exactly like I was expecting, but so little in this life actually does. So the main central piece is slightly off centre. That's where the 12th fret is, and you can see it's just sort of that way, just a little bit. Also, it was a little bit difficult to control the stylus because it's designed to go in a groove and actually follow a set pattern, and I was just freehanding it over a picture that I'd drawn. So that's not how it's designed to be used. However, with a little bit of cleaning up, like get in there with a little micro chisel and just sort of clean up that bit, and there's another couple of maybe a little bit of sandpaper just to clean up some of these little wobbly lines. It's not too bad. Also, the ends of all of these tendrils, I could chisel them out so they come to a fine point like I did on the drawing. Don't even have to carve them deep, they just have to come to a fine point on the top, so I can just do that with a chisel. On the whole, not too bad. Not amazing, not great. Certainly not as good as I was hoping, but not bad. I will use this after I've cleaned it up a little bit. Anyway, that is it for tonight. It's getting a little bit late, and I have to stop using power tools. So thank you very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button, and come back tomorrow. Thank you very much.